is turning to rock, the chemicals in the shell are actually getting replaced with minerals, so that it becomes rock itself. It's not the shell itself, but it is a rock replica of the shell. So when you find dinosaur bones, they're not bone anymore, but they are rock replicas, down to the cell of those bones of dinosaurs. So you can do this two ways. You can look at fossils first and then have the kids make their own fossil, or you can have the kids make their fossils so they kind of get the idea of how this works, and then look at real fossils. So for making fossils, we have a recipe in there for this Play-Doh. This is a Play-Doh that's made with cornstarch and baking soda. And you don't want to knead it a lot with your hands because it dries your hands out like crazy. But it's kind of a nice, very white, pliable Play-Doh here. I don't know what was on the counter when I was here. Just pass that down. Maybe take one if you want one, and you can take a shell. And these are shells from modern-day sea creatures, and fossils that we find are from creatures that lived hundreds of millions of years ago.
Make a shell.
Yeah. And if you have a lot of this Play-Doh, you could give everybody two little pieces of it, and one could be the ocean floor, and then the shell can settle down to the ocean floor, and then you can have some more mud fall on top of it. So I was trying that last night to see how that would work. Well, that's a good game to play there, yeah. Okay. So, let's see, did we have enough shells to go all the way around? Here's some more shells here. Okay, grab a shell. Okay. You could also do it with plants.
Listen for directions, because she's going to tell us what to do, okay?
Well, you want to have enough thickness so that you can press something into it.
Okay.
All right?
So we're going to press.
So, let's see, I don't have anything.
Good job here.
Oh, okay, I'll use the shell. All right, so let's say the shell, this little snail, periwinkle dies, falls to the bottom, and then its shell is left after the creature sort of disintegrates. And then some more mud and sediment settles out of the ocean floor. And then more and more and more and more layers and layers and layers of mud, and it gets pressed and pressed into the rock. Okay, and then the ocean dries up. Because the land rises and the water rushes away, and the rock is exposed. And then along comes the Colorado River, and it cuts through the layers and layers and layers, and then along comes a geologist and says, I wonder what's between those two layers, and hammers at it with his hammer, and what can we find? Fossil! There's a fossil impression left by the shell, and we could imagine if we found something like that, it's probably not made of shell anymore, but it's been replaced by different minerals. So it looks just like things that lived there 400 million years ago. And that would be a different kind of fossil. So some fossils look like this, and some fossils are just the indentation that's left by the plant or animal that lived there long ago. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that beautiful shell fossil. Great. So we thought if the kids actually did this, and tell them not to press too hard, then they can kind of have a better understanding of how a fossil might form. That will be the challenge. That will be the challenge. Getting them not to press too hard.
Is the idea if you're doing this that you're going to have to probably make up your own the night before?
Yes.
Because it's not something every volunteer has to make their own.
Your own Play-Doh. The recipe is in your handout.
Yeah.
And then these, if you like them, the kids could, they could write their initials on there, and you can bake them for, I don't know, it says 10 or 15 minutes in an oven, 350 oven, and they will harden. So think about bringing a box or something along so that you can take them home and bake them. And otherwise, you can reuse it. So the way I made it, this stuff, you just put everything into a saucepan, the water, the baking soda, and the cornstarch, and you stir it while you're heating it, and at first nothing seems to happen, and then it makes lumps, and then pretty soon it turns into mashed potatoes, and then you turn off the flame, and you just scoop it out onto a counter. I wouldn't put it on a wood cutting board because it's not good for the finish on the wood, but put it out onto whatever counter like this is fine, and then cover it with a damp towel. And then what I did was I took my cake spatula and I formed it into a square that was about 1 inch thick. And then I just cut it into 16 pieces and then rolled them, you know, the pieces up. So that just was a very easy way of making, and it's all ready, you know, it's all ready to go for when you bring it into the classroom. You know, keep it in the refrigerator, and there you are.
But that one recipe made 16 pieces? Is that?
My recipe made 16,
This-
wait, that recipe made 16 pieces this size. So are we done with
Enough
this?
for- Well, you have to double it.
Yeah,
exactly,
we double
okay.
it for a class.
That's a lot
Yeah,
of baking stuff,
good.
'cause isn't the-
And then,
isn't the box
oopsie,
of
I
baking
see
stuff?
that some of it
You
ended
do?
up
Okay, I'm
inside.
just gonna little boxes right now, like it.
If you, yeah, if you can put them back in the original form, that's very helpful.
And it'll
to me.
say-
Can you, so what
If
she
you wanna
wants to
take that
do
one
is
home
make
and bake
one
it, you
circle.
can. It's so beautiful.
Do you need it for something? Do you need to use it again?
Well, I would use it again, but Stephanie, it's so beautiful.
It
I
is,
think
I
you should
should
bake it.
And I'll bring it for the class.
There you are.
It looks like a cookie, actually.
Yeah, it does.
Will it stay?
Good idea.
Something we have to really watch.
And then show the class.
It's not.
Will it stay?
Right.